So we really need to start off talking about aspects. And from my perspective, we need to talk about the relationship between aspects and harmonics. Many of you, excuse me, many of you are familiar with harmonics either through the work of John Addy or other people who have written on it. More currently, my friend David Cochran has been doing amazing work with harmonics and has developed a name, a topic under which this kind of more resonant look at astrology falls under, and that's vibrational astrology. I think that's a great name, and I like that. I like that topic. I've been referring to what David calls vibrational astrology as quantum astrology. I first wrote on quantum astrological topics nearly 30 years ago, and they still hold useful. And the deal is this: aspects and harmonics are the same thing. It's just that harmonics are a different way of framing them. In fact, when you use an opposition, you're dividing a circle by two and you're using the second harmonic. When you divide a circle by three, you're using the third harmonic. We call those trines. When you divide a circle by four, you're using a fourth harmonic. We call those squares. But in quantum physics and quantum astrology, individual points are an illusion, because when we look at a subatomic, when we venture into the subatomic realm, what we thought was points actually turns out, what we thought were points actually turns out to be waves that solidify into a point while they're being measured. Now, I could talk about this for an hour or two. I'm not going to, but this is what physicists call the particle wave duality, or the particle wave dilemma. But it appears that light is, for example, both photons are particles, but light travels like a wave. And by the same token, I would suggest that when we look at the moon or Saturn or Pluto in the sky, we're looking at a particle, but in fact, they propagate, they travel by waves. The moon is 13 cycles a year, Saturn is 3 cycles a century roughly, Pluto is 4 cycles a millennium, and so on. And that when Pythagoras and Kepler were talking about the music of the spheres, they were not talking about some distant metaphor. This is the way the planets actually really work, that there is a music of the spheres, and just because it's not within auditory range, which is, typically in the, 10,000 hertz to tens of thousands of hertz or cycles per second, and it's not in the visual range, which would be the Roy G. Biv, the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, what did I miss? Violet. It's not within a visual range. Planetary energy is in such a slow, low frequency range that the cycles are not cycles per second, they're cycles per year, century, and millennium. So we're just looking at aspects as points typically, but I want to shift our thinking today, or encourage everyone to, when we look at charts, to look at the entire the entire field of resonance, the vibration of the chart, rather than picking out any single aspect. And whenever we have 3 or more planets that are in some sort of resonance or hum or vibration, we astrologers call those configurations. And the Yod is one of many configurations that we will be talking about today.